I want a divorce from my wife, but everyone want me to forgive her. Throw away for obvious reasons explained below. Me and my wife has been married for 3 years. First, let me say my wife is not struggling with any issues that I am aware of, and we have known each other since grade school. We literally know everything about each other and families. About 2 months ago, I came home and found my wife and 6-month-old daughter on the couch. My wife was asleep and my daughter next to her. The moment I went in to greet them, I smelled my daughter immediately. She needed a diaper change. I didn't know how long it has been since her last diaper change. I took my daughter from the couch to go and change her diaper, as I didn't want to wake up my wife. My wife doesn't sleep during the day, so I know that if I find my wife sleeping during the day or any time before 9 p.m., she had a hectic day and is just drained. I walked into my daughter's room and placed her on the changing table and started to change her diaper. Not even 2 minutes later, my wife walked into the room, and as I greeted her, she looked at me and looked down to my daughter on the changing table and went into a rage and started to attack me. I was stunned for like a second and instinct kicked in, and I leaned over my daughter to protect her. My wife was shouting while hitting me, "How could I? How could I?" over and over again, and then I'm a monster. I had no idea at the time what she was talking about. In the morning I left, everything was as good as it could be. She then ran out the room. Like 5 minutes later, 3 police officers had me in handcuffs and my wife going crazy that she called me my daughter. I was speechless at that moment and couldn't believe what she was saying. I asked her what she was talking about. All she kept saying is that she saw me doing it. I was arrested and released the next day when the police had a look at the camera footage in my daughter's room, clearly seeing that I was just busy changing her diaper and nothing happened. There is not evidence that to support my wife's claims she attacked me without provocation. I want a divorce, as I can't believe she would even think that I would do something like that. I haven't spoken to her since I got released, and my phone has been blowing up with calls and texts with her apologies. I honestly don't care about that. The moment she said those words to the police, that I say my daughter, it was like all the love I had for he just left me, and all I feel is a void inside of me at the moment, nothing else. I had her served with divorce papers a week ago, and now everyone is constantly harassing me from my family, her family, our friend, to talk to her and try counseling to sort this out. She can get counseling if she want, but I will not be involved. I am asking for full custody of my daughter. My lawyer has informed me that I will most probably get full custody of my daughter due to my wife's violent outburst on camera, and that I had to shield her with my body and the false claims laid against me, noting her mental state. Everyone is saying I'm taking things too far by divorcing her and trying to take my daughter from her. But nobody can give me a reason as to why she did what she did. She herself in the 374 message hasn't given me an explanation as well, just constant sorry. And we can go for marriage counseling and individual counseling again. I don't care, she can go by herself. I'm just worn down at the moment as the gravity of everything is hitting me. What should I do? Everyone is on her side. What am I missing? Comment. You do not need to stay in this relationship no matter what caused her to snap. She physically attacked you. She called the police and said you assaulted your own daughter. If you feel divorce is the best option and have mentally checked out, it is the best option. You were very lucky that there was video footage to confirm your innocence. If it happens again in a room without security cameras, you would be absolutely screwed. We unfortunately live in a world where people are very likely to think that there is no smoke without fire. Thankfully for you, there was proof, this time. As to what you should do, you seem to be handling everything as well as could be expected considering the circumstances, protecting your daughter and yourself as your priority. As for your soon-to-be ex-wife, she really needs to go into therapy, considering that she is still unable to give you a satisfactory answer for her extreme behavior. If you feel you need to divorce, then you do what you need to do. It's a hard situation and will be difficult, especially with the legalities around it all, but staying is not going to do you any good. You are not wrong for changing your daughter's diaper at all. She needed a change and you didn't want to wake your sleeping wife. A soiled diaper can cause rashes and infections more commonly in girls since it gets in areas it shouldn't. What she saw or thought she saw is her truth, but you have yours as well. Nothing is wrong or bad with what you did. I wish my parents protected me from rape as a child. I wish they protected me too again years later. Women like your wife need to be held accountable, and that means if she is having a mental breakdown, she needs to be committed. Her yelling and saying USA a baby is very serious. That's so serious as death. That's what she did, killed your trust, bond, relationship. This almost sounds like postnatal psychosis, which is not an excuse. She's clearly mentally unwell and needs professional help immediately. I would continue with the divorce if that happened between me and my spouse. and I would absolutely seek full custody. She was attacking while you had the baby in your hands, regardless of your baby being on a changing table. She is a danger to this child. Thank God for that camera footage. That is vital proof to your wife's full throttle attack with your child in vicinity to the point you had to lean over to protect her. Take care of yourself and your baby, OP. I think you are doing the right thing. If she gets mental help, and you feel like you can trust her with your kid, give her 50% custody. Your daughter will need her mother, as long as her mother is sane. But for the time being, full custody is a good thing until she fixes herself. If she doesn't, then supervised visitations only. For those who are asking you to forgive her, tell them if you did not have video footage proving your innocence, you would have been sent to prison, where most likely you would have been killed there. People there do not take kindly to people convicted of these kinds of crimes. Story 2. I am jealous of my best friend E and developed a crush on her husband. I'm honestly feeling like trash right now. I have known E since I was 5 and she is the kindest, gentlest, purest in this world and I love her, but I'm so jealous of her and hate myself for it. We got pregnant at the same time, only E and J got a surrogate. My pregnancy sucked. The birth was painful, recovery long, and the worst part was actually learning how to take care of a baby. The differences in our lives became impossible to ignore. E still this excess beauty while I gained weight and can't lose it. She got a nurse to take care of the baby at night so they could sleep well while I haven't slept since the baby was born. She has professional cleaners hired to deep clean thrice a week while I have time to deep clean maybe once a month. She cooks and bakes this wonders while I have to do with cheese sandwiches because I don't have the time to cook. The worst part is she helps me so much. E is the one that got me all my cravings while I was pregnant. She hired someone to clean my house for 3 months after I gave birth, brought me meals every day and left food and baked goods. She babysits for me all the time. She still brings me food every week because she buys and cooks too much. And the main differences between us is our husbands. My husband and I have been together since I was 17 and he 20, on and off until we decided to get married when I got pregnant. E and J met when she was 19, got engaged 5 years later and married next year. They had the dream wedding while ours was in a courthouse. They had a 3-month honeymoon, we had none. They basically live in a mansion while we live in a 2-bedroom apartment. Her husband is organized and considerate, the perfect gentleman, while mine isn't. My husband and I started fighting even more after the baby was born. He refuses to pull his weight with chores and baby duties. We fight about money a lot. I'm a nurse and he's a social worker, so the differences in our incomes have always been a sore point for us. Jay loves spoiling E, cooks almost every meal, plans dates, does all the diaper changing. The worst part? Jay is insanely handsome and I think I started to have feelings for him. Jay is so supportive. He was with E when she lost her dad and went through a horrible depression. Jay was the one who didn't want E to get pregnant because of how bad her depression was. It's very likely she has postpartum depression. Jay and E look like they are in their honeymoon stage while my husband and I are at each other's throats all the time. I'm lost. I love you with all my heart and would never touch Jay, but I can't get rid of this stupid crush and the jealousy is driving me crazy. How do I deal with this? Comment. OP, you don't have feelings for Jay. You imagine the life he has and replace yourself with her. If the tables were the other way, you wouldn't have a crush on Jay. You pointed out a bunch of issues in your marriage. Have you both tried couples therapy? The more you ignore it, the worse your resentment will get. You don't have a crush on her husband. You have a crush on the life you wish you had. You have 2 options here. Option 1. Have a proper conversation with your husband about changes that need to be made. Couples counseling perhaps. Communication is key. If this fails, then you have. Option 2. Leave him. If he is not helping you, then he's a problem and is probably one of the reasons you put yourself down so much. Flowers will only bloom if you water them correctly. Dammy's life sounds great and even I'm jealous of her life and I don't even know her. With that said, how you're feeling is normal, but think should try therapy with your husband. If you're happier in your marriage and home, you will be less likely to compare yourself to others' lives. You'd be surprised what he may be jealous of you for, like perhaps carrying your own child, which she sadly didn't get to experience. The grass isn't always greener on the other side, it's greener where you water it. Right. I've had a friend say similar things to me as OP about her friend and it's like, I'm on antidepressants. I'm in couples counseling because I don't know how to communicate well. I and my husband have so much baggage thanks to childhood trauma when on the outside my life seems great with a house, a supportive loving husband, an advanced degree, a good job, hobbies, friends, etc. I've learned to appreciate what I have in my life. But you never know what's going on in someone's marriage or life. Everyone has problems. Honestly, I don't even think you have a crush on her husband. I think you are drawing these parallels with her life, seeing the difference and idolizing her/wanting to be her. And I'm not saying that to embarrass or shame you. Some people are luckier in their choices but doesn't mean they'll end up having a happier life. I think you struggled like a normal person would. Your friend seems to be affluent but most people won't have what she has. And it seems like she is aware of her privilege and helping you as much as she can. Friendship is a gift and we should cherish it. I think you are going through a hard time, balancing this new life and a husband that maybe isn't meeting your expectations. Do not go after your friend's husband. It's not worth risking your friendship and marriage. I'd have a candid heart-to-heart with your husband on what's not working between you two without comparing yourself to them. I'd suggest marriage counseling. He may know someone given his career. Best of luck to you. I'm so sorry you are going through a hard time and feeling less than. Just know your friend has your back and you should try to see your situation as positively as you can. Normal people don't deep clean 3 times a week, trust me.